Well, greetings, everyone. This is Strange Days Indeed with Cara Marie. I am Cara Marie, and you are listening to it on Blog Talk Radio. I hope you've had a fabulous May. Definitely a time to make some changes in your life. So clean out that closet, clean out those old papers, and clean out those old emotions. I will be transparent here, first to say it, that my whole year has been about undressing, getting rid of, and reducing, and it's been at such a soul level as well. And as I talk to other people who are my associates in the spiritual community, as well as in the life community, I think we're all feeling that kind of chaotic energy and trying to get over the hump and not let our fears guide us, but let our faith guide us. So this has been a great big faith year for me so far, and it just feels like it's been a wild roller coaster. So to my loyal listeners who I enjoy so much, my schedule has been a little sporadic, but I do have faith that I will be knitting new shows. I'll try and do one once a week, but thank you for being such loyal listeners even when I am MIA. And I want to thank Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and Melinda Carver, as well as Judge Neal and some other friends who have just really been here for me the last few months, especially Dr. Kimberly, because I drove her crazy, and I still do. I love you, Dr. Kimberly. Well, anyway, on today's show, we have psychic Louise Helene, and, she is not what I'd say the newcomer to spiritual psychic work, intuitive work. She's a second-generation psychic, a tarot reader, a crystal ball gazer. Who knows how to gaze into a crystal ball? I have a beautiful one inherited from my mother, and it's in the closet, but I do love it. But anyway, she's a spiritual advisor who has conducted thousands of readings over 30 years. Can you imagine how many people she has helped and mentored and counseled? Louise learned her craft by helping her mom run a successful psychic advisor business. And Louise lives in Illinois, which is a beautiful state. I'll type her website in the chat room. It is Louise Helene with an E on the end, thepsychic.com. She wrote the book, I Saw Your Future, and He's Not It. Now, how many people can relate to that at this point in their lives? I have to say it's been several years since I met the man of my dreams, but in reading the book, I could totally put myself back in those shoes of wanting love, of desiring it, of calling out to the universe, calling out to God, and then you see somebody and you just know that they're the one, and it's like, how will they like me? How will they love me? So anyway, it is my pleasure to bring Louise Helene onto this show. Hi, Louise. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, Cara?
Well, it's wonderful to be on this show with you. I wanted to let our listeners know that I've just been orbiting the earth about this show the last couple of days. I felt so much energy around it. I mean, I seriously tried to ground myself before the show, and I still feel like I'm somewhere over on Mars.
Yes. Actually, you have a very strong energy. You have a strong energy. I've been looking forward to doing the show. Yes.
Well, before we get into your book, what most impacted me about you is your relationship with your mother and how she taught you and how she nurtured you and how she guided you. So in honor of Mother's Day, could you tell us a little about your mom's influence on your spiritual life?
Oh, my goodness. My mother, she was a reader, and my mother and I were very close. We were soulmates. You can have soulmates that are, she was my mother, she was my soulmate, she was my mentor, she was my friend. I was with her. She would give readings. I would be sitting on her lap, and she encouraged me. I gave my first reading when I was 12 years old. And My mother encouraged me. She said I was very gifted. She saw in me that and everyone is psychic and intuitive to a certain degree, but it is more developed than some of us. And she also did nurture and try to develop that in me. And she wanted me to open my mind to all these things. So it was my earliest memory was my mother encouraging me to reach out to the universe, and it was really amazing. It was wonderful having. I'm very thankful that I had a mother like that. She was very gifted in every way.
You know, I can completely tell, just as a testimony of your work and what you're doing today, that she laid such a foundation into you and that she helped so many people herself.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I did want to touch on that, and that's what I try and do with my daughter. I try to keep the cap off of her and just nurture her and support her, because we have so many intuitive children on the planet in this age, and it can be a very chaotic time with what's going on in the world to nurture that and to be with them and to comfort them. I know my daughter needs extra comfort. So I'm always interested in that paradigm between the mother and the child and a spiritual relationship.
Oh, yes. Now, and I dedicated the book to my mother. My mother was a very gifted writer also. She had a newspaper column. And I dedicated the book to her. She should have written a book, and many of the things, not actually in the book, but many of the things discussed, my mother and I would talk about. We had discussed a book, and she should have written a book herself. So I dedicated the book to her.
Now, when you were writing the book, when you were pushing it out, and when you were contacting a publisher and harnessing that in your life, did you kind of feel your mother's influence around you, supporting you?
Yes. I have a pen that my mother gave me, and everything that I wrote, the first draft, I wrote it with the pen. My mother gave it to me years ago, and she said, "You're going to write something with this." And so I could feel my mother with me. I could feel her spirit with me, guiding along the way. And as a matter of fact, I had a dream while I was writing the book, and I wrote the book with my niece, and she wrote just the facts section.
Yes.
Kimberly Osborne Sullivan, and I would write, I would feel my mother, and she definitely was guiding me. And I had a dream that the first publisher that I contacted would want the book, and that's the way that it happened.
And who are you?
Llewellyn Worldwide is the publisher.
Llewellyn. Wow, I think that's the most fantastic publisher to possibly get.
Yes.
I mean, they come out with some dream team books. And so for you to be able to be published by them is just an amazing, wonderful success. And I do know that your book is available on Amazon. It's available on all over the Internet.
Barnes & Noble, IndieBound. It's at Amazon. It's all over. If anyone Googles the name of the book, many different. Someone that I know, they bought the book at Books A Million. It's at bookstores. It's at small bookstores. Someone even rented it in New Zealand from the library.
Oh, wow, that is amazing.
Yes. One of my clients called and said her friend rented the book, and then she said her friend lives in New Zealand, and her friend rented the book in New Zealand. So it's at several libraries, too. Now,
the book really comes back to all the work that you have done for readings for people, for counseling people throughout the years. How high of a percentage are people asking about love, marriage, relationships?
90% to 95%.
And what do you think women, how am I going to say this? Why do so many women resist their intuition when finding a mate? Do you notice that some women call up and they're just after this guy who's a total toad, and you think you have totally turned off all of your alarm bells, haven't you?
Yes, they've turned it off, yes. And see, women are very intuitive. women are extremely intuitive, and some it's more developed than others. But people and women, they'll ignore all the bells and whistles, all their intuition. They'll ignore it, and they want this. They're focused on this one toad. They'll focus on him, and there's many reasons. Many people are in too much of a hurry to find their soulmate. Mm-hmm. They're in too much of a hurry, and they want it to be now. Women also are fixers, and they do feel that they can fix someone. They can fix a man. And so they ignore many women once they get fixated on someone. And sometimes, I believe in reincarnation, and sometimes the man that is really not for them, they have known before, so they'll feel a sense of familiarity, but it's not necessarily a good sense of familiarity.
Yes, I have to say that, and my gosh, if I could pound my head on the desk right now, especially when I was a teenager, there were a couple men I've met in my life, and inside I felt in my stomach, in the pit of my stomach, bad news, walk away, but another part of me in my mind said, I need to talk to him for some reason. Yes. Well, in doing so, meeting, that person or going on those dates would change my life dramatically, and not really for good reasons. But I do feel that there is something to soul contracts or spiritual contracts, or you've met this guy before, and now, and this is now in no way putting it all on the men. This is just experience talking, because I do know that there are a lot of baddie women, and I know that I've made some wrong choices myself. So,
and women that are very balanced in many other aspects of their life. Mm-hmm. They can be a little batty, as you say, when it comes to their love life. In every other part of their life, they can be very balanced. I do want to say something to you, though. When I said that sometimes someone comes into our life to impact us, it's a past life connection, but not necessarily the one we're supposed to be with. Mm-hmm. Even our negative experiences, and many women need to realize this. The past, sometimes they need to put the past behind them and move on from the person that they're interested in because of that. Even the past experiences that are not necessarily the happiest experiences, what you are today, it is, and the things that you know are very much related to the things that you experienced. Mm-hmm. And you've learned. It was maybe a hard lesson, but you have, from these past experiences, gained knowledge and learned.
And I do want to bring in a little bit of light to the situation back when I go into that energy of the past. I do want to say that when I moved to Florida, I was 18, and right before I moved to Florida, I was at a low point in my life, and I asked God, where do you want me to go? Basically one of those reach out and give me hope. Well, I had a dream about a green grocery store with balloons tied to the registers, and at the end of the dream, the balloons lifted to the sky, and the serene music was playing. So I went to Florida. Green grocery stores were there. I got hired at one because a thunderstorm prevented me from leaving that green grocery store.
Right.
The second one I got transferred to 2 months later, I just knew it in my spirit, and maybe it was a little wishful thinking, but I said, I'm going to meet my husband at this grocery store. And when I walked in, I started crying because I remembered it from my dream. So the first day I see my little Mr. Eric sitting up on the counter, and he was 18 at the time, a young man. And I just said, it was like heaven was beaming down light on him. And we didn't date until a year later because it took a long time of me courting him and getting the confidence to even talk to him. But that was my little love story of instant recognition.
Oh, yes, and you did recognize him. Yes, you felt it, and you felt it very strong. It was undeniable. And I do in the book try to, the exercises that I have in the book, I try to get women to recognize those feelings, because many times a feeling that we do have a physical sensation from it. an overwhelming emotional feeling. Like you said, you felt like crying. Sometimes it'll be something in the pit of your stomach. And so I try to get women need to get control. So many women need to get control of their love life. And that's what I try to do with the book.
Now, we've talked about gut feelings. We've talked about intuition. You have psychic tune-up exercises in your book.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Oh, yes. Every exercise in the book is there for a reason. Some are visualization. As I've said, like when we say something, even if you're feeling low or there's no one in your life or you want a relationship to be better, you know that it's supposed to be. Say it. Look in the mirror in the morning and say it. These are some of the things that the sound that we put out are the sound of our voice. The universe brings that back to us. Also, I have, for example, one exercise in the book that exercises a different, I call it your psychic muscle. We exercise our body to exercise our muscles to make our body stronger. There's exercises to help to exercise our psychic muscle. I have one exercise that put a drop of food coloring in a glass of water, a clear glass of water, and then to stare at as the food dye is swirling around, what do you see? What do you see? And you'd be surprised after doing this and some other exercises, after doing this, you will start to be able to interpret some of the forms that you see. So these are exercises to be aware and to exercise that psychic muscle.
You know, I did try the food coloring thing very briefly. I didn't spend as much time on it as I could have, but just as my little experiment yesterday. And it was really interesting because I saw in the glass that the food coloring wrote out the word love as it swirled.
Yes.
And I saw it very clearly. It said love.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. And you would be surprised as you practice and do this, you will see more things. Now, I look in I read the crystal. I use my mother's crystal. And the food coloring helps people that are not as developed. It helps them. And it's something different. You will see, you'd mentioned that you have a crystal.
Yes, I do.
And I wanted to say to you, you need to take that crystal out of the closet, dust it off, and put it on your table. You need to do that. You need to look at it. But you will see that as you do this with the food coloring, you will be able, you will eventually get where you can look at the crystal and you will see things and you won't need the aid of the food coloring.
You know, an amazing story about that crystal ball that I have, it is a Jean Dixon from the Jean Dixon line of, I forgot the company. But my mom got that when I was a child, and it has 4 angels supporting the crystal. And we just love that crystal ball. Well, several years ago, my mom's house got broken into multitudes of times. I mean, 5 times at least. And she pretty much lost everything valuable to her, and she thought she lost the crystal ball. And so I thought that crystal was gone, and I was going to order her another one. Well, she ended up passing away, and I was cleaning out her house, and there was so much stuff at her house. You know, it was like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yes.
Well, you know, I turned on my intuition. I said, what in this house do I need to go get? And so I went to the laundry room, and I just started pulling boxes and pulling boxes and pulling boxes. And this box emerged, and I pulled out her crystal ball.
Yes.
And so that was...
She was guiding you to that, yes.
Moment. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that just gave me so much hope that, hey, it's still here. And it was such a good thing for me, and I think on the other side, a good thing for her, because she thought that had been stolen long ago.
Yes, yes. That's why when you were mentioning it, I feel that you should put it out. You should put it out. You should put it somewhere that you can see it, that you can look over at it. And you should use it. You should use it. I feel it's time.
It's time.
It's time. Yes, it's time.
Now, speaking about big life decisions, when a woman is coming off of, let's say, a divorce, a bad breakup, or the death of a loved one, she's just kind of in that state of, fear-based and grieving and trying to come out of it, should she be more patient than to try and attract a love at the low points?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a big problem, that when someone wants love or needs love or feels they're going through a difficult time, they try to rush things. Sometimes the person that's supposed to be in our life, we're not ready. You were mentioning your husband when you met him.
Yes.
I feel that it took a year for many reasons, but I feel that neither one of you would have been really ready at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it was when the time came, that year, that was the right time. Many times someone that we're supposed to be with, that soulmate, they might not be ready for a few years. They might be in a relationship that if you met them at that moment, it would not work out. So people need to be more. They need to be more patient and wait. And many times I find a big mistake is trying to rush things. So definitely there's a period of waiting, especially when there are big things going on in someone's life, a lot of turmoil and big change. And to be a little more, to take a breath, listen to your intuition. And there's a sense of calm with some meditation exercises that I have in the book. It helps give a sense of calm, because we need to take a breath and relax and just know that the soulmate will come into your life.
This is a little off topic, but I just have to ask you. I don't know how much you work with numbers and numerology, but for the past several weeks I've been seeing 222. Several times a day.
222. Okay.
And it's almost comical. But I just saw it again. And so I keep saying the 222. What do you think I should ask myself what that means?
No, I'm not a numerologist, but I do see numbers. Many times I'll tell clients, because I'll try to give them time frames, because everyone wants time frames. Sometimes I see it very clearly, sometimes I don't. So I tell them sometimes if I see a number, if I see a time frame. When you're saying the number 222 to me, I feel many times when we see multiples of numbers, it has to do with change. I feel that this is an important number for you. Energetically, I feel it's a very important number, and I feel that actually Spirit is telling me right now that it has to do with some changes, and it feels like a periods of time that's going to be like 2 months, another 2 months, another 2 months, I guess 6 months altogether, but it's going to be in blocks of 2. Right? That's what I feel it has to do. So sort of keep track, look at your calendar, and think of like 2 months from now a change. I actually see 2 months from now. I see you. It looks like you're considering signing some sort of contract, something that you will be doing. I believe it's either a contract or buying something, but you are signing up for something, and the number 2. But then I feel after that, this 2 has to do with the next 6 months. 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, in blocks of time. And you might have a little period of quiet between each one, and then something else occurs, and something else occurs. So
wow.
I feel this 2 has to do why you're saying that.
That is amazing that you told me that. That was just like it made sense that I'm being pushed right now. It's like, okay,
yes.
This is the intervals that we're working on, and the contract would definitely go along with them. Closing my mother's estate and considering moving at the same time. So, see, spot on.
Yes.
Now, when people would like readings from you, where do they go to find all this fabulousness about yourself?
Well, I'm a reader on Keen.com, KEEN.com. Louise Helene the Psychic is my name on there. If they even put Louise Helene in, though, I will come up. I've been a reader. I'm a reader on there. I also then go to my website. You had given my website, I believe, Louise Helene, www.louisehelenethepsychic.com, and they can get a hold of me. They can email me. But I'm on Keen, and I work every day.
Well, that's wonderful. And I think I heard on a different interview you did with someone else that you have some regular callers who call you for
oh my goodness, every
comfort
day,
and counsel. It's kind of like a friendship you've built.
Oh, absolutely. I have many regular clients. I have clients. I worked in another psychic line before I was on Keen, and many of my clients found me. I wasn't allowed to tell them where I was going, but many of them found me, and they've come over from there. So I've got many clients that I've actually had in different ways because I have a private practice, and plus many clients that my mother was reading for. So I have clients that I've been reading for literally 20, 25, 30 years.
Wow, that's just incredible. Now, all of those stories, some of it, let's talk about the stories in your book. Could you talk about a couple of the examples in your book?
Yes. Well, the chapters, if you've been reading the book, the chapters I focus on problems that women have, very common problems in their love life. Like, why doesn't he call? Why doesn't he commit? I try to use the stories that fit. Many women think that they're alone. They're having all these problems and they're alone. They're not alone. I have one of the people from the publishing company that was reading, an editor, read the book, and she said that she wished that she had seen the book 20 years ago. She said that she could see herself in there and some of her friends. So I have the stories that I tell from my clients, and it's all anonymous. I change the names, is to show them that they're not alone and the different results that occurred. With the Internet and the way dating is now, dating has changed. There's many people are meeting people that they don't know any of their relatives. They don't know anything about the person. It's very important to get that psychic edge to know if this person is safe. Are they being honest? Very important now, even more than ever. One of the stories in my book, I have a client that was engaged to someone. They were painting the apartment. They were going to move into the apartment. They had a wedding date set, and she heard, and I was reading for her. She heard that he was married. And I had a feeling about a woman around him. Anyway, when he came to help with the apartment one night, he walked in, and she asked him, when he was standing in the doorway, that she had heard that he was married. And he didn't answer. There's a story in the book. I don't know if you read that story. When she asked him, he jumped up, almost turned in midair.
Oh, gosh.
And ran and barreled down the stairs and into the night.
Wow.
And she never heard from him again.
Oh, my word.
Yes. That was her answer. That was her answer.
And in regards to intuition, I think faith plays a big part of it, whether it's faith in yourself or the universe, or that angels and spirit guides are around you. I always believe that God is watching over us as we pray, and I believe that if we ask for help, we get it. It may not be immediate, but it will be when we need it. Thank you, God, for teaching me patience.
Yes. It makes sense. Help comes in different forms. I've had many clients call me, and I was able to help them. God helps us in many ways. It can be through a person, through an event. Yes.
A book?
And to have faith
like
and know. To have faith and know and believe, it helps bring things to us sooner than others. Yes.
And obviously, this is kind of a question that answers itself. But when you're looking for the right mate, whether it's Mr. Right Now, which is a very catchy term, or if it's the soulmate, it's important to be transparent, correct? It's important to not, and by that I mean not put on a false face about things.
Absolutely.
I mean, be pleasant and be your best self, but not to the point where you completely change yourself in 180 degrees to attract a certain person that you think that you need to be with.
Right. It's not the person that's supposed to be with you, your soulmate. You will not need to do that.
Mhm.
Women try to make men fit, like a square peg in a round hole.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. They try to make that person fit, and they'll feel something for a woman can definitely feel something for a man that's not the one. But that doesn't. Maybe we're supposed to meet that person, learn something, and move on. It's not necessarily the one we're supposed to be with. So definitely, a woman should be herself.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that you're supposed to be with, you will not have to change. You will not have to. You can be yourself. And we want someone that we can be ourselves with, of course.
And that's extremely important, because when you're living together and when you're married, there's going to be times, many more times, that you'll let your hair down and you'll cry and you'll just be you in your weakest moment rather than in your highest moment. And I know that, my husband is testimony to this, as he's helped me since my mother's passed away. There have been many days where I haven't been the happy, joyful, optimistic lady that he met. He's had to nurture me and get the sparkle back in me.
Yes. I feel your mother around you very, very strongly. Your mother's with you. Your mother is with you all the time. And I feel that you're going to have more contact from your mother. Mm-hmm. I feel your mother around you.
And that makes complete sense, Louise, and especially when I do my show. She was the biggest fan of my show. Yes. And I credit your interview to being some divine intervention, because I was taking a little bit of a break trying to figure things out. Yes. And I got contacted and said, hey, do you want to do this? And so that is why I signed up, and not just because you're a beautiful person, but it also pushed me back into doing it in a good way.
I feel you're supposed to. You're supposed to do it. I feel your mother, and you said she was a big fan of your show. I feel she wants you to. And that is, my mother is passed on also. I feel her with me all the time. I loved my mother. I feel her with me all the time. And there was a time when she had passed that I sort of stepped away from this. It was a short period of time, but stepped away from it. But the biggest honor I can give her is what she showed me.
Mm.
The biggest honor is to what she showed me and to practice what she showed me and to help people. And I feel her every day. I feel her while I'm giving my readings. Sometimes I will hear like her voice whisper to me. Mm-hmm. And I will say what she is saying, and it's amazing. She was a fantastic reader, but I will hear her voice when I'm giving my readings.
Oh,
my readings have actually improved very much. Yes.
I bet it, because a mother always coaches her children to put on their best face and give it a real go and get back out there. And that's what mothers are fabulous about doing, whether they're here or on the other side. I think especially on the other side, they have more of a chance to interact with their adult children and say, okay, here you go. We're going to do this. We're going to dust this off.
Yes. And I feel that this time, it feels to me spiritually like I feel you backing away a little bit. You are coming back, and I feel that you are supposed to do your show. You're supposed to do other things, and it's the best way to honor your mother.
Wow, that's amazing. And I do want to say that right after I booked the show with you, a cardinal appeared in the tree. And the special thing about the cardinal is my mother and I always spoke about, in relation to her brother passing away, that cardinals were messages from the other side. Well, the morning that she passed away, and that was a whole heck of a night, but the morning she passed away and I was telling everybody on the phone, my mom passed away, a cardinal started singing in the tree and it would not leave. And for 8 days after that, a cardinal always appeared each day. And on the last day when I was crying that I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, a a cardinal was singing from 10 p.m. at night until 10 a.m. in the morning, and it was so loud that the neighbor said, "What is wrong with that bird?" And so I went downstairs and I videotaped it. So seeing the cardinal right after I booked the show with you, that was such a divine confirmation for me.
Oh, yes. You know, as you're speaking, as you're saying these things to me, your mother is showing me something. I see some pearls. Now, pearls are symbolic of purity.
Mm-hmm.
But the pearls mean anything to your mother, that she would show me these pearls to show you. Pearls. I see these pearls. And she's showing me these pearls. And pearls are a symbol of purity. And it has a spiritual meaning. But I'm supposed to say pearls to you.
You are the second person to say that, but I can tell you that I just pulled out a little treasure chest to keep my crystals during the show, and it has a strand of pearls that my grandma gave to me, and my grandma's currently not speaking with me. So I think that maybe there's some sort of relation
I just got a chill when
you're
saying that. I just got a chill when you're saying that, yes. That's why your mother's showing me these pearls. And you're supposed to, and I will say this: you will. This will be bridged. This will be resolved, and I feel you're supposed to resolve it. She showed me these pearls very clearly. So
wow, it is 12 inches from me, folks. Everyone listening, 12 inches from my hand, the closest thing I can reach right now, and I had no intentions of taking them out today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much.
Yes. She wants to know you're there. She's there with you. She's right to your right. She's right to your right now. Your mother.
Well, thank you so much, Louise. I can't express it, and I know that it's a diversion from our topic, but at the same time, I think it gives people a lot of hope. And I do believe that when she crossed over, she was on my Mike Davies show of March of 2012. One of our last conversations was recorded on air, and ever since then, the show has been about lifting other people from lifting other people's spirits, because my mom always wanted to prove that life was after death, and she said she would. And so people have been able to listen to my show and to see that played out, but almost more importantly, to see grief played out.
Yes. I want to give you. I hear your mother, and I want you to think about it later. She's saying a name to me that I'm supposed to say to you. I've heard it 3 times. The name Annie.
Annie. Okay, I know who Annie is.
Annie. Your mother's saying the name Annie. Do you know who this is?
Well, my daughter's name is Kimi, but there is a little girl next door to us named Annie.
Annie. Okay. She's saying Annie, and she's just saying that name. So
I'm going to meditate on it. I'm sure it's going to hit me. It's going to all make sense.
Yes.
So we are.
Yes. Now this is changing the subject a little bit, but the book has many. I don't know when you've been reading it. Some of the stories are funny.
Oh, they are. I love the story about the cat, Figgy the cat, and Lexi and Edward.
Yes. One of my, I hear every day my clients all have different stories, and I'm reading for them. I'll be reading for them, and many times I've been reading for them before they met their soulmates, or while they're in the process of trying to work things out with their soulmate, and when they break up and find a new soulmate. So there's clients I've read for years, and one client was very jealous. Her boyfriend smelled like an Italian restaurant, and she was very jealous, and she thought that, and I did not feel a woman around him, and I did not. But I told her to, just step back and don't. I didn't feel a woman around him, and anyway, she ended up following him. She didn't really follow my advice. She ended up following him, and she followed him, and he went to a restaurant, and she pulled her car, sort of blocked him, and jumped out and started accusing him of something. And what it turned out is that, no, he didn't have a girlfriend. He was working delivering pizzas to pay for her. He was going to buy her an engagement ring.
Oh, wow. Now, did they end up together? Did they patch it out?
Absolutely, they did. She felt bad. They resolved things, and then he continued working to pay for the wedding. But she was she let her emotion, because if she had listened to her intuition, I feel, especially I had talked to her, she would not have, but she just let her emotion about being jealous override some intuitive feelings, and so it worked out. And they didn't break up. They ended up together, but many things are not the way they appear.
Amen.
Sometimes
Exactly.
we need a little help.
Exactly, and but that also brings us to another point of you have a story in the book about a woman who went on a date with a great guy, and she felt the energy change in the middle of the date. And you spoke with her, and she admitted that she had talked about her ex the whole date.
Yes.
How many times does this push people away?
Oh, so many times. So many times. It does. The person doesn't want to. The person does not want to hear. Actually, this woman was a wonderful woman. She was not over the ex. She focused too much on the ex, and the guy just didn't want to hear about that. It does push people away. Yes.
Now, the good news for us is that you do believe that we have many soulmates could possibly choose from on this earth. So if something falls through the wayside on one, not that should try to happen, but there is hope.
Oh, absolutely. Many people think, they're soulmates. They just have one. If it doesn't work out, no, we have many soulmates, and there's many soulmates that we have. Some soulmates we're just supposed to meet. We learn something. It can be an unresolved issue, a karmic thing. Then we move on. It does not, just because the person that you feel is your soulmate, we have many other soulmates. And soulmates that are supposed to be our life partner, that's supposed to be with us. And so definitely, and many women do feel that there's no hope, that they met their soulmate and there's no hope. And I have seen things change. I have a client that had never had a boyfriend. She was turning 40, had never had a boyfriend, and she had gone on some dates, but there never was any connection. And I felt we go through cycles in our life too, and I felt it was time. And needless to say that within 6 months, from never having a boyfriend, not only did she meet her soulmate, but within 6 months she was engaged, and they had have a wedding date set.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it was really amazing. But I felt it. But when I was saying this to her, she said, I want to believe you, but and the thing is, if she's very intuitive, but her negative thoughts were blocking receiving intuitively. She would have felt it if she wasn't blocked by such negative thoughts. She would have felt it. And so she would say to me, she'd say, Louise, I want to believe you. And she said, there's something about what you're saying that I think might be true, but that can't be. It was so ingrained in her negative. And I said, you'll see. And I did tell her, I said, even if you're not feeling it, get up in the morning and say, I have met my soulmate today. I am engaged. And say it in the present. And I said, even if you're not believing it, just say it. And what you say, and it changes. What we say, what we repeatedly say to ourselves in our mind, out loud, will make our reality. But anyway, she did do it, even though, she wasn't feeling too enthusiastic about it. She did do it, and her soulmate came into her life. And she called me when they picked the ring out, and so I was here the whole through everything with her. So.
And that's kind of how you have to do things in your life. Like before you wrote your book, you started visualizing it. You visualized the finished product. You visualized the book in your hands, and so you kept seeing it. And I'm making the way to grow my family, so I'm trying to feel myself as a mother of two instead of a mother of one, to kind of create that space. Sometimes we don't create the space and then it gets blocked in. And another important thing is sometimes our lives are just full of so much distractions, whether it may be Facebook or mind clutter or clutter in our home and our energy, and we need to empty it out and take the time to get rid of it to create some intentional space for the new good.
Oh yes, you're saying that. You're saying that to me. It's very true. And I have a client. This client is not in the book. I mean, I have so many clients. This client is not in the book, but she had a very cluttered surroundings. Actually, cluttered surroundings. Her parents passed. They passed at different times. But anyway, she had very cluttered surroundings. And I told her, I said, you must clear your surroundings before, because she was looking for someone. She had been in a long relationship that didn't work out. But anyway, she was looking for someone. And I said, I feel you must clear your surroundings to clear your mind and open up for this person to come into your life. I feel you've got to do a few things before they can come in. So she did clear her surroundings, cleared away the clutter, and it was only within about 2 months of clearing her surroundings that she met the person that she's with now.
So we are talking to Louise Helene, the psychic spiritual advisor, tarot reader. If you Google Louise Helene psychic, you'll go up to her website, or it is www.louisehelene with an E on the end, thepsychic.com. Your book, I Saw Your Future and He's Not It, is available on Amazon. It's available in Barnes & Noble, all over the Internet. If you just Google I Saw Your Future and He's Not It, you'll get a ton of resources. It's also available on Kindle for us handy e-readers out there. Now, Louise, we do have a couple calls. Would you mind answering a couple questions?
Oh, absolutely.
Today?
I'd love to.
Okay, wonderful. The first one has been so patiently waiting since before the show, so I'm going to take the call. It's area code 561. Hello.
Hi, my name's Judy. How are you?
Hi, Judy. How are you doing today?
Terrific, thank you. First time calling in, and I've been enjoying listening to the stories.
Yes. Hello, Judy. How are you?
I'm terrific. How are you, Louise?
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Is there anything that I can help you with today?
I would love to know what you see as far as finding my soulmate. It's been 8 years since my divorce. No one significant that I've met, and I know he's out there, so I wonder what you see.
Yes, all right. I'd like you to close your eyes. I'm going to get your vibration, the vibration around you. Well, I'm going to give you, as I'm feeling your vibration, I get an irritated feeling, not with you, but I just get an irritated feeling. I feel that Spirit is telling me to say to you that things are going to fall into place. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a projected, I feel October for you. I feel someone around you in October. I feel the energy around you, and I feel that you're going to meet someone interesting. I feel October will be an important month, but I don't feel this is your soulmate. It is someone that I want to say the word fun. Now, your actual soulmate, I feel, will be around this time next year. This time next year, and he'll be worth waiting for. But in the meantime, I see actually you going on some dates. I see fun in October, and it just feels fun. It doesn't feel real serious, and I can hear you laughing, and I feel a very good energy, and I feel that this relationship comes into your life for a reason, and it's sort of an uplifting feeling. This person will uplift you, and I feel your soulmate coming into your life. I hear the word springtime of next year.
Okay.
Springtime of next year. And I also see something around this person. This might be something you can look for with them. I see some mountains, and I see snow. I see this person interested in skiing.
Okay.
I see some ski poles, and this person's interested in skiing, and I feel we'll talk to you about that. So your soulmate is coming. Your soulmate is coming.
Definitely good to know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That sounds like really great news, Judy.
It does, because I've been waiting a long time to hear that.
Yes, he's coming, and don't be impatient. But I do feel a little period of time of I want to say interest from him. That's why I see like October. I actually feel when I'm feeling your vibration that you might want your soulmate to come into your life, but I feel that when your soulmate does come, you'll be ready. I don't really feel you're exactly ready at the moment. Not yet. Almost,
okay.
But not quite yet. Mm-hmm. And
anything that I'm supposed to do to get ready?
Let me feel. I feel when I'm feeling this other person that you will go out with, that's not your soulmate. There's a past life connection with this person, and I also want to say, as I'm talking about them and I'm saying past life connection, I also want to say teacher.
Mm.
This person has something to do with teaching.
Okay.
Right? I feel that I just feel you need a little laughter. I feel a little laughter and a little fun. And I feel that you need that before you meet your soulmate. And this soulmate will be your life partner. This will be I don't see another divorce for you or anything like that. And I also want to say islands. When you are with them, I see you going to some islands, and I see you will get married. You will marry this person. And I see islands, and you'll talk about going to and I hear the word, like saying it like that, the islands.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. That sounds terrific. One quick question about it. I'm a single mom. Does this soulmate have children of his own?
Yes. They have one. I see one child.
Mm-hmm.
One child that is. Let me feel if the child is with them. I don't feel the child's with them. I feel they're a good father, but I don't feel the child's with them. But I do see a child. Yes. Okay. And it feels more. I will give you this. It feels more like it's not a small child. It feels like a teenager to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but I get a good feeling. I don't feel that will be. I don't feel it will be an issue.
Okay.
So I get a good feeling with that.
Well, thank you.
You have a lot to look forward to.
That sounds so wonderful. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Judy.
And God bless you.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You as well.
God bless.
Okay, we have time to take one more call. Are you okay with that, Miss Louise?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, area code 203, you're on the air. What is your question for Miss Louise?
Hi, I also would like to have information on meeting my life partner.
Now, what's your first name?
Shante.
Okay. I want to say this when I'm speaking to immediately, as I was hearing your voice, I feel that there's someone around you. When I say someone around you, I feel, I feel an energy of someone around you. Is there someone that you're waiting to hear from or something you have in your mind?
Yes.
Yes, I know I feel it. And Spirit's telling me to say to you, they will be back. So I don't know if you're waiting to hear from them. That's what Spirit's giving me. They will be back. And I hear the word change. And I also, let me see what else I feel with them. Because I feel that there is definitely, you don't have a cleared energy with finding a soulmate. There's somebody. And I'd like you to close your eyes. Spirit's telling me to say to you, don't worry. Do not worry. I also feel, for some reason, I feel a vibration of a woman around them. I don't know if this makes any sense. I feel a vibration of a woman. It does not feel, what I feel spiritually, it does not feel really important, really, on a spiritual level, but I still feel a vibration of a woman around this person. You were supposed to wait. I feel, I see the month of December. I feel this will be a longer road, but I feel that I feel like you have met. I feel you have met your soulmate.
Oh, okay.
I feel you have.
Yeah, because I talked to him, and he says he know how I feel, but he never reached back out to me.
Yes, but you will. It's not over with this person. But I feel that you need to. Don't worry. As I said, Spirit was telling me to tell you, don't worry. It's a long, as I said, a long road. This is, some things are resolved fast and some are not. It's a long road. Be patient. I actually feel the exercises in my book would help you very much. So think about getting the book and doing them. There's 20 exercises in there. I feel it would help you and help resolve things. I see a long road for you, but I see your soulmate around you. Yes. This is not over with this person. This is, there's more to come. And I get a good feeling, and I want to say December turning point. December turning point. And get your mind on some other things.
Yeah,
get your mind
I have
on other things.
My mind is on all over the place.
Pardon me, I didn't hear you.
I said my mind is all over the place.
Yes.
Not just in that area.
Yes. And try to focus on a few things. I try to meditate a little bit, and I get a good feeling. I just feel, and I hear the word, Spirit's giving me the word to say to you, resolution. So, resolution. I also, I want to say 2 states to you. I'm just going to give them to you. Write them down. This will have meaning for you. I want to say the state of Georgia to you and Florida.
I want to move to Florida so bad, but I can't right now.
You will. You will.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And did you have any other questions? Or?
So I won't be dating anyone until...
You won't be dating anyone. I feel that you need to meditate a little bit. I do see you, now when you're asking about dating anyone, I do feel that I actually see 3 men, but I see 3 men, but I feel that 2 men sort of come in and out. A few dates, and then I feel them disappear. A couple dates, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. A couple dates and they disappear. One man I see regular contact, but I feel this other person that we've been talking about that I feel around you, this energy around you, this person, there is more to come with this. Be patient, meditate, and focus on a few things. I feel your energy, you are not ready for your soulmate to be actively in your life at the moment. Mm-hmm. You need to focus on some things. You need to meditate a little bit, and you need to resolve a few things. You know, I get a feeling of fear with you. Are you afraid? Do you have some anxiety about the future?
Yeah.
Yes. You need to meditate, and you need to, that's why I said get my book and do some of the visualization exercises. You need some more confidence, and don't be afraid. Spirit is with you. Spirit is with you.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you.
Well, Louise Helene, you know what? I would love to have you on the show again. It feels like we only touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
On
it went very
everything.
fast. Very fast.
And it seems like you just have buckets of wisdom to help us out with. So I have really enjoyed this program with you.
Yes, I've enjoyed being on the show. I really have. Time went by so fast for me.
And it's eclipse day too, so everything's like whoosh, rocket.
Yes.
Okay, so people can go to your website, www.louiseheleneThePsychic.com, or just Google Louise Helene with an E on the end, psychic, and you'll get her information. You're on Facebook, I noticed.
Yes.
You're on several different areas.
Got a blog, yes.
And I've read that blog. It's very interesting, and it's very cool to read somebody else's perspective.
Yes.
And also, your book, I Saw Your Future and He's Not It, which would be a great gift for someone. But, there also is stories in there about relationships themselves, and I know that we really didn't get into that. But,
yes.
After you attract the mate, more about using your intuition to strengthen the relationship or to make sense of it.
Yes, the book is not just for women looking. It's for women, even women in a relationship can get much from it, yes. And I have heard from many people that they just love reading the stories. And sometimes women need to help their friends. I have some clients that bought. I have a client that bought the book, and she's married. Mm-hmm. She bought the book for. She bought 5 copies of it and gave it as Christmas presents to her niece, a friend, and she said that she could see all of them in the book.
Oh, exactly. I can see myself in the book. I can see a lot of different situations. And I do want to mention before we go that the book is very well written. It's very funny in some ways and very deep in other ways. And it's comical and it's lighthearted. It's good for the person who needs things explained, and it's also good for people who are quick learners. So I think it's a very adaptable book and very enjoyable and almost like a guilty indulgence, too, because I haven't dated in so long that I can go back and be like, kind of live in like, oh, that's how it felt to meet Mr. Right or to go on that first date or to make that faux pas. That's right there in the book.
Yes. Mm. Oh, yeah. And you see her friends, like from the publishing company, one lady saying, yep, did that. Yep, friend of mine did that. And some of the stories, and I wanted women to see they're not alone. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people, they think that they're alone, that there aren't others with the same problems. There are. And I wanted to help women with that. Yes.
Well, I think you did a beautiful job, and I'm going to write my spiffy review as soon as I'm finished with it up on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And I just want to thank you for coming on the show today and being with us.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, we are going to sign off of today's show. The contact information for Louise Helene. You can Google Louise Helene the Psychic or go to LouiseHeleneThePsychic.com. Also Google I Saw Your Future and He's Not It. It'll take you to Amazon and plenty of other sites, or just walk into Barnes & Noble. I'm sure they have it on the shelf. It's a very affordable present to yourself, and it will help you with your future. And also give Louise an email if you have any experiences with the book or if you learned something from it. Definitely contact her, because I'm sure that she'd be interested if it does help you attract your mate.
I've heard from so many women that and clients that are calling me and people writing to me that it's helped them. And that I have a client and someone, actually a few different people that have read it over. One client said that they have to read it again, and I have another client that's read it 3 times. And they said it uplifted them and made them feel good and not alone, and it's helped them. And some of the psychic exercises are helping. They're seeing results right away.
Well, that is a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful thing to know that we're not alone. I think that with our little obstacles that we each have in our lives, sometimes we feel like I'm the only person who has ever been through this on the planet. But just to remember that The road to victory is with many wise counsels, and it's when we share with each other our experiences that we're empowered, that we're unified, and that we're able to make sense of it all. At least what we can make sense of. I think there's some things that are to remain a mystery for now. Well, well, thank you again, and many blessings to you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Yes, and God bless. It was lovely being on your show. God bless.